The stars are aligning in China. In Hong Kong, the stars have already aligned, I'd say. The trading has been going on for time. And many times we have said that Hong Kong is kind of a test bed for China. Some people aren't so convinced that the Chinese government will allow its citizens to openly trade crypto. But more and more news is coming out. Of course, we're all familiar with the ETFs that were released in Hong Kong, or at least started trading in Asia. And okay, there was a bit of a whimper in terms of how it started. It didn't have the same oomph as the ETFs in the United States, but we all know why. It's because there's just more money in the United States compared to Hong Kong. The economy of the United States and the money that's sloshing around in that system is orders of magnitude greater than that in Hong Kong. However, we are starting to see chunks of news coming out here and there that are extremely exciting in the grand scheme of things. If you just zoom out a little bit and see the bigger picture, you will understand what it's starting to happen. Now, a major crypto exchange, some say the second largest crypto exchange in the world, or at least in that region, Bybit, has opened to Chinese users based overseas. Okay, so it's not exactly actually people in China itself trading on Bybit, but it's Chinese users based overseas. It's kind of a loophole type sounding thing. Again, that sounds like a bit of a test bed for some things that are to come. All right, so Bybit began to let mainland Chinese citizens living overseas trade on its platform, right? So the platform now lets Chinese living abroad sign up for an account, even as the mainland imposes a strict ban on crypto trading. Bybit, the world's second largest cryptocurrency exchange, has begun to let mainland Chinese living overseas trade on its platform as the company tries to bring in new users amid the country's strict crypto ban and growing regulatory scrutiny worldwide. The Dubai headquartered company is allowing the overseas Chinese community, mainland users residing outside their home country, to open accounts and trade on its platform, Bybit said in a statement late Thursday. Users can sign up with mainland Chinese identity documents, including national IDs and passports, Bybit's registration page showed. The exchange continues to block account applications that originate from the mainland Chinese Internet Protocol addresses, IP addresses. It's funny how they spell that out. Chinese IP addresses or are tied to phone numbers in the country, according to tests conducted by Post on Thursday. So basically, if they check you and you have an address or an IP address or telephone registered on the mainland, it kind of signifies that you are on the mainland. Of course, there are ways of getting around that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. An IP address indicates the approximate geographical location of an internet-linked device. But cryptocurrency investors based in China commonly use virtual private networks, aka VPN, to mask their actual location and circumvent IP address restrictions. So that's another way that we know that people are actually trading actively in China, getting by the blocks day in, day out. But officially, they're still blocked. But the fact that an exchange like Bybit has gone in and started kind of unofficially opening their accounts and opening their platform to people who at least now have an external residential location, even though they're actually resident in China. So they're Chinese nationals, Chinese documents, but currently outside the country. Now, how many of those do you think, when they do return to mainland China, are going to still be able to access that account, maybe via VPN or what have you, right? When asked about the methods it is using to verify whether a Chinese user lives outside the country, Bybit declined to comment beyond referring to its statement and Know Your Customer guidelines, which said users who have a daily withdrawal limit of roughly $2 million must submit an address proof. Daily limit of $2 million, that's a lot. Still, by blocking Chinese IP addresses, Bybit's measures might already be more stringent than those of some other exchanges. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about value of Bitcoin, yada yada. But the whole point of this article, in my opinion, is it seems to me that Bybit is preparing for something. You know, I wouldn't put it past the Chinese government to have contacted Bybit maybe and said, look, we're going to allow you to do this. Just ensure that the IP addresses are not on the mainland. We're going to see how that goes. Just like they're letting people trade by proxy via Hong Kong, they're sort of, letting people trade by proxy elsewhere. So just to see how it goes, it's a controlled introduction of crypto trading to the masses. Of course, the Chinese government is well aware that people are trading using VPNs. They probably turn a slight blind eye to that, or maybe they're watching those as well. And by slightly opening up slowly, watching the results, ready to control any sort of runaway activity, that's kind of the way of the Chinese government. But this is kind of good news, some would say epic news, and a sign that the stars are aligning in China. And when Chinese money eventually arrives, when tokenization of real world assets hits, we're going to see the most incredible inflow, some say trillions of dollars, into the ecosystem. Not financial advice, do your own research, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.